Hi, my name is Katie Roach.
And my name is Caitlin Wiglesworth. Today we are going to discuss the challenges that come with the transition from in-person work to online. This is something we have all experienced firsthand during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our worlds flipped upside down, bringing about many unprecedented challenges that we had to face.
After we talk about the rough transition, we're going to talk about the strategies that we acclimated into our everyday lives to bridge the gap between in-person versus online communication and productivity.
Pandemic, schools and workplaces needed to have a seamless transition from in-person to virtual learning and working. The increased virtuality brought about by the pandemic can be an opportunity to innovate in communication to influence performance. However, there are a few challenges that have been raised during this transition. Two of those challenges include increasing productivity and effective communication. A lot of people can agree that they are more productive with face-to-face communication. It is easier to reach a goal or finish a task in person rather than going back and forth via email or text. The challenge with online learning or work is keeping productivity up. This is because it requires a lot of self-discipline and self-motivation to stay on track, and it can be easy to fall behind. While face-to-face interactions are characterized by a much higher level of accountability, a study done by Victor Gario about virtual teams conducted that virtual or remotely distributed team collaboration can also improve employee productivity. The challenge, however, is what can make a virtual team have better performance results than a face-to-face team?
In an attempt to answer this question, Mariana Shade, a communication specialist, writes in her blog, Explain Everything, about strategies to keep students engaged in a virtual classroom. She points out 10 strategies, all revolving around engagement, group work, and performance. The teachers in this case have to put on a much more challenging performance to captivate their students amongst all of the at-home distractions. Group work is a fantastic way to keep people engaged, and interesting material and presentations are another great way to keep the students invested. Betul Sarkowski, a member of the Educational Technology program at University of Arizona, wrote an academic article about these same issues and articulates that motivation is also a key contributing factor to encouraging engagement.
Another part of the challenges of going virtual was communication, both verbal and nonverbal. Benno Vierbal, a researcher in the communication department at Gutenberg University, led a study that analyzed the structures, forms, and functions of informal communication in telecommuting settings. Informal communication is the communication that flows without following a formally defined path. The findings in the study revealed differences in informal communication with coworkers between those working in an office and those working from home. In both cases, informal communication fulfills similar functions, but remote work leads to less informal communication and hinders incidental exposures to other employees. There is a challenge in that informal talks need to be planned in advance or strategically initiated rather than naturally occurring.
Dr. Kevin Anderson is a leading expert in organizational management and development. Anderson has used his experiences and knowledge to share stories, tips, and tricks with us through his books. In his book, The New Workplace: Performance Through Virtual and Hybrid Teams, he explains some tricks that he used to keep productivity levels up while leading a team of 12. Some things he mentioned include more breaks during the day, similarly formatted computer programs as to what strategies he used in person, such as whiteboards to hear everyone's thoughts, polls to hear people's opinions, and homework to keep engagement up. Verbal and nonverbal communication both played a huge role in the challenges they faced. Though there aren't many ways to fix the nonverbal communication aspect, there are some things that we can do to help boost our verbal communication. One of the most commonly used and very helpful communication aspects is something that Anderson calls coffee pot talk. This would include those mundane, short conversations that you have in passing, like at the coffee pot. Having these small conversations and throwing around ideas for their meetings later, contributing factor to their efficiency. The other communication problem that virtual presented involved the risk-to-reward ratio. In the virtual environment, there's no way of measuring how receptive others are going to be of your idea. That risk, combined with the limited reward, made for employees to be more shy about sharing their ideas. In the virtual environment, Anderson encouraged emailing and calling to get the conversations going and boost efficiency out of the workplace. This also leads to people feeling more comfortable sharing their ideas. As you can see, there are many challenges that come with virtual learning. However, there are many different strategies to use to help combat the challenges.
Thanks for listening.